Murmuring Defile. Ooh. I don't blink cup. A Doctor Who cup. Goatslayer is hoping that the coffee is strong enough that you can hear my hair standing on end.
Feel your semen focusing. Bing!
I can smell colors. That's 2 espressos? Guys, how excited are you for Tony Hawk Remaster? Never got into it? Bruh. It's going to be something that is just for Twitch. It's never going to get saved. It's never going to get put up on YouTube because, oh my god, the soundtrack is the biggest part of Tony Hawk. And when this remaster comes out, we're going to be listening to that music. I'm not going to mute it. So our VODs are just going to get muted and our YouTube videos would just get copyrighted to hell and back because nobody's allowed to have fun in America anymore. A cherry staff. I'm not a big sports person. I'm not big on racing. But a serious big chunk of my childhood was skateboarding. Okay. Not only have I seen, I currently have a campaign going for the Warden, the new High Elf. Been having fun with that. The new High Elf actually punishes you for auto-resolving. You actually have to play your matches to advance with that race. Like, you can get to a point where you don't need to anymore, but it's a really cool mechanic. But what the Warden does is, while he's in a battle, the entire faction has a faction ability on the right side of the screen that's called, like, the Prison of something or other. I forget what they call it. But basically, it's a debuff that you throw on only enemy lords. Okay? So you can only cast this on enemy lords. And it lasts for 25 seconds. If the enemy lord is wounded during that 25-second time window, so this has got like a real, gotta wait to the last second to cast it on the dude. There's a big timing element here. But if he gets wounded in the 25 seconds that buff's going, you capture the enemy lord. Meaning, you take the enemy lord out of that army, you remove it from that faction, and you put it in a prison. And then you can interrogate him. You can turn him and send him back to his faction and have him send you info. Or you can assassinate him or execute him. And by doing those things, you get a specific piece of currency that you need. And that currency is what you need to be able to advance, like, your whole secret society warden thing that you're doing. So, the thing is the auto-resolve's never going to capture any of these lords. So you gotta go in and you gotta capture the lords. Even on the easy fights, you gotta capture them. So that kind of sucks that you gotta play the auto wins just so that you can capture the lord. But still no big deal, though. It's still a lot of fun. But yeah, I've heard Paunch is really fun. Serum. Yeah, I heard about him cooking. You gotta get ingredients and then you cook. You get buffs and shit. They've also changed the way the WOG works, too. I kind of like how the WOG used to be, but yeah, it wasn't working properly, though. I see why they did it. And the new way that it works is just as fun as the old way, so... How... It is more useful, yeah. Oh my god. all good. Welcome back, Mandu. Yeah, I heard that, like, if you do it in certain areas, you'll get, like, black orcs, or you'll get trolls, or... That's really cool. Alright, so AC, you guys wanted to set, in the air conditioning, you wanted to play Animal Crossing or Assassin's Creed? Hedging my bets that it was you guys sitting in front of the air conditioning. Just turn it on full blast and sit in front of it. That's called the Arizonan. Get some Animal Crossing in, nice. Interesting. This is a mimic. Slamma jamma. What's this? Okay. We're gonna reveal hidden areas now, huh? I like it. Thinking about getting your FFT working? I need to figure out how I want to stream Final Fantasy Tactics. And have it figured out before we start. Because... I definitely want to stream it. But I also want to, like, grind it. And I don't want you guys to have to go through that. Because of all the games in the world, as much as I love Final Fantasy Tactics, it is a very boring grind. I guess we could still stream it, because I mean, like, what time am I gonna find to grind off stream? I guess we could stream the grinds, but just not throw it into the YouTube playthrough. This way. Catches for the mainline missions. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Or like the eventful, the side quests, like the stuff that pretty much the whole game sans the grinding. Yeah. Yeah, coming up with like good conversation starters for grinding sessions is really helpful. What's up, Winter? How you doing? Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck this disease, bro. I only got one thing that heals disease. One! Fitty Gill. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Bug? No. Arc scale. Coffee, wake me up. Wake me up inside. I can't wake up. Ugh. Yo, I need some fucking heals, bruh. Yo! Did that just knock out? Yep. Ghost Slayer's already been dethroned by Winterwind with that gifted sub from Belly. Thank you, Belly. And welcome back, Winterwind. Can we get some Vikings in chat for Winter? And also, woke me up. The song has revived me. Prime went to a charity stream. That, if your Prime has to pack up and move out, I am glad that's where it went. I sent some emails about doing some charity streams for COVID. I haven't heard any answers back. I'd like to do that. We're not gonna, our community's not gonna, you know, burn down the house and do anything super crazy donation-wise, but I thought it'd be nice for our little community, you know. Oh, so our hat in the ring. Was for UK mental health. That's, they need it. They need it. Belly is a prime example of mental health in the UK. Goddamn, does our own country need it? Jesus. Everybody's insane right now. We got a bunch of psychopaths running around and everybody's listening to their opinions. What is that? Who? Oi, 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 whoa, this now. Y'all get no sun. Your whole country's vitamin D deficient. You guys need that D. Apologies for the puppers barking, guys. They're playing right now. They're having a good old time. Your tan line says otherwise. Belly, it doesn't count if you spray it on. The Goat Slayer beat me to it. Goat Slayer beat me to it. Yeah, I have to make an effort to make sure that I walk Magni early enough, well, late enough in the morning that the sun's up. You know, don't get up and do it like, you know, 4 a.m. or anything, which is easy. It's not even an issue. And but the issue is making sure that I take him early enough before the sun goes down, so that I get my two good like 15-minute walks out in the sun. And out here in Arizona, like the microwave being on high. A lot of goddamn sun real quick. Oh no, that little Magni's a little prince. He gets picked up when we leave the sidewalk. He gets carried 20 feet, sat back down on the other side of the parking lot. And then he... That's him pitter and pattering because he's so excited. But making sure that you go early in the morning and as late as you can while the sun's still up at night helps a lot with them getting their feet burned. And I go in flip-flops so that I can kick my shoe off real quick and test the asphalt. Lets me know how hot it is. Okay. Do. The fuck do I get over there? Yeah, lure on me, you big dumb bitch. You attacking other people. Fiance has to walk in. It's that way with me and Toxic Aloy. She gets stir crazy and I have to take her out and do stuff with her. She'll go nuts. Sheer. Is that an ability? It is, it is. That inconvenient golden brown noggin. Toasty. Crispy. This coffee's not kicking in. You guys got to get me talking about something. Something. Anything but politics. Hit me with it. Blah, 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 blah. Best food I've had lately. What's your politics opinion? Shut up is what it is. Best food I've had lately. The wife just last night made a really good spicy chicken spaghetti. I love Chipotle sauces. Ugh. I love Chipotle sauces. We've cooked with HelloFresh. We're cooking new meals at least 2 or 3 times a month, like things we've never cooked before. Really gets us out of our box. We get a good variety of different foods and stuff out of it. Yeah. Where do you think we'll kill Sylvanas in the next expansion? Open dungeon, first raid, tier 6. I hope she's a boss of the first raid. Yeah. Should be the final boss of the first raid, I think. But they have totally resolved really big story elements in like open world questing zones before. They have done that shit before, so be prepared for that bullshit. I don't know, based on the pattern, Shadowlands is supposed to be a good expansion. Yeah, I got a buddy who's just like a diehard fan of Sylvanas, and I was too for the longest time. Like back in Warcraft 3, I thought she was one of the coolest characters. This whole like, I'm gonna lead the fucking undead because Arthas was a dick to me fucking thing. Like, she's cool, dude. But then like, I don't know, this more recent shit with her, I just, you know, she just seems to just not have a consistent character development, and it's driving me insane. And he's like, no, it's all part of the big plan. Everybody shows short-sighted. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, she's been she knows something that nobody else knows the whole time. And that is that and he's right about this part, that the Dark Gods, or in particular, not Inzoth. Who was it that we fought? Was it Inzoth? Who's the old god that got released this time around? Was it Inzoth? It's not Cthulhu. It was Inzoth, yeah. He's like, Inzoth is afraid of her. And she's doing all this stuff because she's gonna be able to she's the only person who's gonna destroy the Dark Gods, the old ones. And I'm like, how does burning down the Night Elf capital help her defeat Inzoth? Like, his whole point was that all of her insanity, all of this random, like, her just going nuts, really? Like, she's just gone nuts. Like, this is the bottom line. Her character has just uncontrollably spiraled, and I don't see the drive, right? I don't see why her character is spiraling. Like, I could see a character, like, being driven to insanity. I could see overcome with sadness, causing him to do things out of character, right? I don't see what's driving Sylvanas out of character. She's just... Everything was revenge. she's not been making sense lately. Yeah, the writers have fucked her up. And my point is, my buddy's such a blind, faithful fan of Sylvanas and the undead as a whole, that he's just coming up with like really absurd excuses to why what's happening to Sylvanas is that it isn't what's happening with Sylvanas is not bad writing. That Sylvanas is so cool, she's coming up with these crazy schemes. It's like, I get that you want your character to be that awesome, but we gotta remind ourselves there's normal human beings writing the story for her, and they're fucking up. Sylvanas' story, and see, like, that's my thing, is like, a lot of times, every time I bring up these arguments about character arcs, everybody's like, well, a good character doesn't stay the same, and it's like, I'm not saying that, I'm saying everything's gotta make sense. But her character arc has always been revenge. She had a haughty, I'm a badass personality. She was a bit snooty, kind of high elf. She was just like, I'm better than everybody else. Arthas isn't even gonna fucking touch me. I forget the name of the town that's around the Sunwell that she's protecting when the shit goes down between her and Arthas. She's like, you're not even gonna get in the gates, and like Arthas just shits all over her. And then like, because she was such a bitch during that fight, Arthas punishes her, Silverman, thank you, and turns her into a fucking banshee. And then she possesses an archer, and that's how she becomes. Ooh, no, was it Quel'Danas? I think Belly's right. I think it was Quel'Danas. Either way, Silvermoon is the capital city of the Blood Elves, I think. Either way, it doesn't matter. Like, in that element in Warcraft 3, Quel'Thalas, maybe? Quel'Danas? I don't know. I'm sure somebody will pull up the wiki and correct us all. But my point is, though, is like, he ruins her by turning her into a banshee. Everything she was about like beauty and the preservation of, you know, natural order and cleanliness and like this kind of like beauty and nature thing, and he turns her into an abomination. Not literally an abomination, because that's a different unit in Warcraft 3, but turns her into a banshee. She turns herself into the Dark Ranger. So her entire life has been revenge. And then what happens? What happens to her character? She has the best arc in Wrath of the Lich King. She goes after Arthas, and then she ends up not getting to be the one to slay Arthas. And what does she do? She fucking throws herself from the battlements of Icecrown Citadel and kills herself. And then she gets her ass brought back and all that stuff. And then even what they did in Legion with her was cool, with her trying to like enslave the Valkyrs and control them so that she could have basically like a infinite resurrection trick and all that stuff. They're doing cool stuff with her. And then like her as like an attack dog for the Horde, where she's working side by side with I forget Homeboy's name on the attack on Gul'dan when they're coming in with their ships at the beginning of Legion. I forgot his name. King of Stormwind. Like, her character was kind of like just, you know, towing the line. She was doing what the war chief said, you know, and like, because that made sense for her character. Her whole purpose, defeating Arthas, Varian, thank you, was gone. So now she's just like, whatever, for the Horde. And she was kind of just doing what she needed to. And right, yeah, she was also looking for a way to save her people. Instead of the Forsaken staying literally forsaken, right? So, you know, she had something going on. It made sense, you know? She lost who she was because of Arthas, so she was overcome with the desire for revenge. And then she gets robbed of her revenge, but Arthas gets slain. So what does she do? She finds basically another way to self-identify. But now, the only thing that you can say that makes all of her actions where she betrays the Horde, she goes insane after she gets marked as the war chief, she attacks her own people, she sends her own units in to the green gas, she betrays the rest of the Horde and prioritizes the... Was this Bloodwing? Shit, this is the dude. Gotta focus. Sorry, guys. Puppies are upset. Oh god. Oh god. Hey, Mags, come on, dude. I don't think I've seen Maelstrom's bolt yet. Magni! I'm watching Maelstrom's bolt. He is so mad right now, I don't know why.
I must be strong.
Alright, I think we're good after this one. But yeah, so I mean, her character just goes off the rails. The dogs are arguing toxically, they are. Dogs are like, we need to start a dog fighting ring, and she's like, no, and they're like, yes, we do. Put beer on our bowls. What? Yeah, I don't know, like, Sylvanas just goes off the rails, and, like, you know, I'm bummed, because she was easily one of my favorite characters. She just ain't getting treated right. And, like, he wasn't ready to accept that, like, the writers had fucked Sylvanas, so his thing was like, no, she, all this craziness is just unexplained strategy, and they're gonna hit us with it later. And I'm just like, how in a million years could you think that... Maybe Sylvanas saw the future, okay? See, this is why I'm so, I don't know, I'm hopeful, but I'm also very cautious for the new expansion, because if we go back and look at the things they started and didn't finish, right? Legion starts a bunch of shit. B of A doesn't finish anything. So, one, we still have all of the Legion artifact weapons, right? I still have fucking... And that, to me, it was cool what they did with Legion by giving us those badass weapons. But those weapons are directly tied to story. Up to that point, the characters of World of Warcraft, that's not even true, because, like, the legendary weapons before that, like, Hand of Rag and Warglaves of Azeroth and stuff like that, they kind of still did do what I'm talking about. Bottom line, us owning an item didn't affect the story up until Legion. Now, my point is like, Warglaves of Azeroth, yeah, they definitely belonged to Illidan up till our characters took it, but at that point in time, Black Temple, Illidan was dead. So what happened to the Warglaves of Azeroth didn't matter. Does that make sense? Like, it was okay that they went to a random player. But the Legion weapons, particularly the biggest of all of them, Doomhammer itself has a ton of story wrapped around it. Same thing with Ashbringer. Like, those two weapons in particular have a ton of, like, lore attached to it. They give it to the player, and I'm like, as soon as Legion's over, we need to hand it back to somebody. There needs to be a storyline where, you know, Thrall comes back and takes back the hammer, and the new paladin, you know, Turlin, is decided to become the leader of the paladins, and we hand him Ashbringer, right? Like, these decisive things needed to happen, at least with the big name artifacts. They didn't. They just left it. They're just still setting in your inventories and your banks, because you can't destroy them and you can't sell them. So they're just setting in your banks right now, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's something they started, they didn't finish. And then something else that they've started and they've not finished is Tyrond. Tyrond Whisperwind is livid from what Sylvanas did, and she's awoken the whole the Night Warrior Night Elf, the black eye, like, Super Saiyan version of the Night Elves. Maybe I've missed it because I haven't stayed playing, but what have they done with that shit? What was the point of that? What was the point of Tyrond awakening the Night Warriors? I missed it. If they did something with it, I didn't see it. But I don't think they did anything with it. So, like, maybe Sylvanas saw the future. If they did something cool with the Night Warriors, like if the Night Warriors was the catalyst to defeating Inzoth, right? Like, that newfound power in the Night Elves and that anger and that hate in the Night Elves for what had happened to them was the driving tip of the spear that kills Inzoth, right? If that had been the story, then we could say, oh, maybe Sylvanas saw into the future and knew that only a great devastation brought upon the Night Elf people would be enough to awaken the Night Warrior. Yeah, like, that would have been sick. Right? And she's like, I did what had to be done to protect Azeroth. Like, oh my god, and what a cool fucking story, right? Did they fucking do that? No. Did I just sit here and off the top of my head write a better story than the guys that are paid 6 figures to do for World of Warcraft? Absolutely. At least in my opinion. Like, but it's because they stopped writing stories with World of Warcraft, and they started using the story to back the decision to create content. The story is now a selling point to get you to buy into content rather than the content is used to support the story. Comes back to the same thing I'm always pissed off about in video games. When accountants, instead of game designers, get a hold of the reins. When people who went to college to focus on making numbers into bigger numbers, and that's the only thing they fucking understand, when they get put in charge. So, I'm out of coffee. Belly knows the secret. You just start talking WoW and I get fucking charged up. I think in the Final Fantasy challenge there's more me talking about World of Warcraft than there is me talking about Final Fantasy. It gets me going, man. It was the most important game in my childhood. I mean, Warcraft 3, I think, maybe takes that. Most important. Best game, to me, is always going to be Ocarina of Time until something comes through and blows my mind. But most important was Warcraft 3, man. That was a huge, like... That helped Zig identify a lot about who he was as a kid. Come on. Kill these fucks. Back, sorry. It's all good, Mountain Dew. Yeah, I don't know. I think really what it was, if we really boil it down, is Blizzard needed a bad guy that everybody could very easily hate, and they just chose Sylvanas for it. Crown. Needy. What the fuck was that? What's going on? Letting her charge up right now. Convinced her to drink with you tonight? Nice. Get your drink on. I get on. Okay, we done? You good? Usually when you get over 200, you're happy. Yo, it's a save crystal. Blessed be Odin who give upon us the crystal of saving, for it cleanses our status ailments and brings upon us new hope and health pools and mana pools. I think the new expansion's gonna go. So I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know too much about Shadowlands. I mean, is Shadowlands where the Void Lords live? Is that where that's supposed to be? I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like, the Cosmos map of World of Warcraft. But there's, like, a map of the Cosmos. Here, I'm pulling it up real quick. Yo, that ain't a good image. Dog. But basically, the Cosmos map, like, dictates where all of our power comes from. Yo, here we go. So, this is, so like, there's the realm of holy, there's the realm of nature, the realm of death, the realm of order, the realm of shadow, and the realm of disorder. And then from, like, these realms is where all of the magics come from, right? Like, for example, like, necromantic and undead energies, they come from the death realm. And see, oh, see, right here it says Shadowlands. So we're not actually over here in the realm of shadow. So, like, the Naru, they come from the realm of light, which is holy magic. And then the wild gods that we see every now and again, they come from the life realm or the nature realm. The Titans came from Arcane. The undead, so the Undead Legion, they come from, or the Undead Scourge comes from the Death realm. The Burning Legion comes from the Disorder or the Fell realm. And then the Void Lords come from the Shadow or the Void, as they call it. But yeah, actually, right here it explains it. So it's in. I got the Almanac books, but right here is reality. This is basically the universe that Azeroth sets inside of. So reality is Azeroth and also Draenor, and all that shit, right? And then, so it looks like the Emerald Dream was like a copy pasta of reality that was created by the Wild Gods, I think, or Cenarius, to kind of like let the Druids use that as like a source code to help fix things in reality. And then there's the Shadowlands. So I'm gonna have to go and, like, so that's its own thing. I thought, up till this second, I thought the Shadowlands was them basically saying we're stepping over here. It's behind my head so you guys can't see it, but right here, this whole Shadow Realm area. I thought that's where we were going until just now, so that changes that a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. So boom, there we go. There's the Shadowlands, right? So I got to figure out what is the Shadowlands. I know that it's like, from what I've read, it's kind of where everything goes when it dies. So what they're going to allow us to do with Shadowlands is basically run into a bunch of characters that have already died. Like, again, this is just like Warlords of Draenor. They found a way to kind of pseudo reset the story of World of Warcraft in another way. Like, and I go back to it, man. I really wish they would have done what I was thinking, but like, Warlords of Draenor was a time skip. They went back in the past. And I was like, dude, this is an opportunity for them to retell Warcraft 1 and 2 in World of Warcraft. But with little changes, right? It doesn't go down exactly the same. Kind of a la Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? We're going to relive the story, but it's going to be a little bit different. Just a tiny bit. They could have done that because Warlords of Draenor reset the timeline, but after we were done with Warlords of Draenor, we're like, okay, that alternate timeline we fucked up a whole bunch, we're going to just isolate it and set it off to the side and leave it alone for the rest of eternity, and it's fine, and it's never going to be a problem. What? I honestly think what they should have done is, like, that should have been the start of, like, a whole new series of events. We should have lost in Warlords of Draenor. They should have got through the portal with new orcs, and then we had to go back and we should have had raids back in time where we helped defend Stormwind Keep. This is Warcraft 1, the video game, where Stormwind gets overrun by the orcs, and they assassinate Keen Lane. And that drives the humans into a fury that pushes the orcs back through the portal, and then we go and fight them into Outlands. Well, it was Draenor at the time. We fight them into Draenor. And then we start kicking the shit out of the orcs, the humans do. And Gul'dan freaks out and starts spamming open portals to try and escape. And that's what broke Draenor and splintered it into Outlands. So, like, maybe make some change. Like, we get to be part of the raid. Like, we have a raid where we try to stop the orcs from getting in and assassinating Keen Lane. And we fail. And then we gotta, like, I don't know, try to shut down the portals and kill as many orcs before they get through the portals. And then maybe we kill Gul'dan before he actually splinters Draenor into Outlands, and then we change the timeline there. They could have done so much more with that whole timeline change thing, and it would have been so dope. But they didn't. Because the story is content-driven. That's what I'm saying. It sounds better. I mean, to me, I don't want to think like, oh, I'm so good, I could outright the writers over at Blizzard. I don't want to sound that big-headed, but fuck, man, I feel like I'm right. I really do. I really think just sitting here bullshitting, and that's not me trying to say like that's a testament to how good of a writer Zig is. I'm saying that that's how easy they could have fucking fixed World of Warcraft's story. It's that easy. And then also, that would have lined up for them doing the big time number crunch, and then maybe they could have pushed up this whole idea to move everybody back down to level 60 like they're about to do. They could have done that then and say like, alright, we have a storyline reason why the world's getting reset. And why everybody's getting crunched. Because we have a new timeline. Maybe they were afraid of that being too confusing, trying to juggle two timelines at the same time. Maybe the feedback they got from the initial release of Warlords of Draenor is people are saying, what the fuck's going on? Who's this Grom guy? You know, maybe that was the case. I don't know. Maybe the mass World of Warcraft players are not actually people who know the lore or are willing to read up on the lore like I am. And they're like, who's Grom? Oh, wait, that's Garrosh's dad? That's weird. Like, maybe they don't know. Maybe it was confusing and the feedback they got was, this is stupid. I don't understand any of this, you know? Who's Grom? Are you trolling me, or? Okay, there it is. There's the Kappa. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like these are all really easy fixes to that world, that universe, you know? 99% of the gamer base only knows what the DPS cap and what meta is. They don't really care about the story. Creating for mass appeal is taking priority over creating a story they'd like, yeah. I think... I don't know. I mean, then why create trailers that show storyline drive into the next expansion, right? Like, in my opinion, if the next, you know, if they're doing Shadowlands, this new expansion, they got these gameplay mechanics they think people are going to get addicted to and spend a bunch of money on, why not just show us, you know, like how Final Fantasy XIV does? Final Fantasy XIV's trailers showed very little actual story development, right? Like let's think about it. The reveal trailer for Shadowlands advances the story significantly. It's not a small feat that, or it's not a small event that Sylvanas went to ICC and fought. God damn, I'm forgetting all of the names of Warcraft right now. I'm running on 5 hours of sleep. I'm sorry. A fucking burning paladin dude who took over for the Lich King.
Arthas.
That's not Arthas, hon. He took over for Arthas. It starts with a B. Used to be a paladin. Boulevard. The fact that it's not a small thing that Sylvanas went after Boulevard. Boulevard 4 Dragon. Yeah, it's not a small... Oh, they bumped into each other at a barbecue. It's a big deal that it happened, right? So that happening, and then what does she do? She kicks, which, by the way, she had no right being stronger than Bolvar. I'm with everybody else. She has not shown how all of a sudden she got powerful enough to be strong enough to wipe the floor with Bolvar. She didn't just barely sneak by. She kicked his ass. I got a huge problem with that. But aside from that, she does that, gets a hold of the crown, rips it open, and opens up a portal to the Shadowlands, right? That is not a small development and storyline. That is a huge, massive push in story, right? So what are you advertising with that trailer? You are advertising, look at the shit that we're doing with the lore. Okay? Come play our game, because this story development in this expansion is going to be nuts. Okay? Versus the newest expansion, Shadowbringers, for Final Fantasy XIV. The trailer for that was a cinematic trailer that kind of lets you know things are going to develop storyline-wise, but doesn't tell you blatantly, here's the new storyline development. It kind of just shows a guy jumping around playing all the different classes he's been playing in Final Fantasy XIV, and then turning into a Dark Knight and kicking the shit out of the guy. You know? Embrace your darkness, or whatever it was. Like, that, what does that advertise? That advertised gameplay. Because that's what they're selling. So what I think it is I honestly feel like the guys over at Blizzard know that people don't trust their gameplay developments anymore. And so they coax us in, they bait and switch us by showing us a gameplay, or they don't show us a gameplay, they show us it's not like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They show us a cinematic that's focused around story to get the people that are addicted to WoW's story, us lore nerds out there, to come in and take a look, and then they hope the gameplay is good enough to lock us down. That's the feeling I get. I just hope it's true. I mean, they've had a pattern of having a good and then a bad and then a good and then a bad expansion. This Shadowlands should land on the good expansion. Battle for Azeroth was bad. Legion was great. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful it's good. Just based on the pattern. That's it. That's the only reason I think that, is the pattern that they've developed. And we're almost getting done with license board on Pinello. So I don't know, we'll see what they do with it. I do know that like the whole Shadowlands is supposed to bring back characters that are dead, so you know, like we could get some really cool things. Like we could get a good guy Arthas, you know? We could get a paladin version of Arthas, or like, oh, you know what would be kind of cool is if we run into Arthas, he's still in his Death Knight form in the Afterworld, right? And we help him, and one of the quests that we go on is helping him cleanse himself of the effects of Frostmourne. And I don't know what the fuck's going on in here. Become a good guy paladin again. What the fuck is this? I'm glad I just saved. I feel like I'm about to die. Who is this? What the fuck is going on here? What have I stumbled into? I feel like I'm gonna die real quick. Let's go! Zalera is his name. Okay. Miss. There's a timer that's counting down. I'm literally doing 0 damage and missing against this boss. I got a feeling I'm not supposed to beat him. I'm rather supposed to just survive him. Okay. We're doing damage. I just got deleted. Just got deleted. He seems like I can hit him right now. Like you got to get the ads down quick, and then it makes him vulnerable.
I must believe.
And if I could get that demon wall down, I can get this guy down. Unless I'm not supposed to. Unless I'm supposed to come back like way later in the game. Which is cool. We just saved. I can do that, but... Oh, come on! That was some unlucky RNG there.
We can win this.
Okay. I should have charged those other... I was moving too quick for me to charge those other guys. We're getting lucky.
It ends now. Tremble!
Damn. All right, an 8-hit combo is fucking good. White out, I think that's good because that's holy. Is it? Maybe it looks kind of ice-like. Hope we get another good RNG on this. Whoa, this one's cool. It reminds me of the Anima Ultimate. Yeah, these some cool ass animations. Take it to the limit.
Let me show you how it's done. Heads up! I never miss.
Doing pretty good.
Let me show you how it's done. Heads up! I never miss.
I almost missed that.
Please.
Another flame perch. This one's going well. I'm happy if we miss it now. I mean, we got a lot of good hits in. Everything that from here on out is just cherries on top. Oh, I almost had another one. Almost. 12, I think that's my highest. Alright, we still got one more character with mist on him, so, or a quickening on him. We could do this one more time if we have to. Don't need to. Cool. Right on. Well, I think that's a good chance for me to bask in my own greatness, and we'll take a quick break.